Hey everyone, welcome back to the Proving Grounds Pod, your one-stop shop for all things Proving Grounds. My name is Smax, and I'm joined by my constant co-host, Cubby. And today, we've got with us a very special guest for this episode 29. We've got the 80 carry for Zoos Gaming Raheen with us after just qualifying for Proving Grounds this week. Raheen, first of all, congratulations on the qualification for Proving Grounds again. I'm sure
Oh,
that's got to feel great.
yeah, thank you. It definitely feels good to make it. A lot of pressure is gone. Now it's just making sure we continue our learning from scrims and then performing on stages. I think we're against TSM Academy next, so it will be a fun rematch for me because we did beat them last time, I think, in proving rounds,
Mm-hmm.
2-1. So looking to get some revenge from against your son and Cody's son.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point. It's gonna be a fun series to watch. That's happening on the 16th, right? So Monday.
I believe so, yeah.
All right,
Monday.
sweet. Well, I know where I'll be for that. So we've got you here. We haven't had too many of your teammates on. We had Alorem on previously, and then we also
Tuesday.
had Tuesday, but he
Yeah.
wasn't your teammate yet.
Yeah.
But we've gotten a chance to talk to some of those guys. But we've got you here as the I guess you're still the rookie of the team. I mean, especially compared to everyone else's tenure in like academy and stuff. What is it like being like the rookie on a team of just four like very well-known veterans?
I wouldn't say Ryan was that well known. I think he had like 5 games in the academy on TLA when
Yep.
he did
That's
play.
true.
So I would still consider him a rookie for sure. But yeah, I mean, playing with Alora on Tuesday and Griffin, you can definitely feel the change, especially from going in last play with RBM and Darkwings. Just the way they play the game, the way they calm is a lot different. Reviews are just a lot different, right? On old Zeus, we just like, oh, like on this wave we can't die. But then when we do with review with Tuesday Griffin, like they straight up just say like, oh, Raheen, like you entered on this wave, like you can't do this against actual bottom lanes. Like the game is over, right? And I'm just like, yeah, right. Like if I'm against Core JJ or Tactical or Sven Vulcan, like the game is legit just over off that one mistake I made, losing Flash. So it's definitely a lot more pressure, but it's also just better just because I'm feeling better. Getting more feedback, and then I can see that in reviews as well for our later scrims for sure.
Yeah,
And
I mean the pressure is definitely a big thing because you guys had such a great spring for zoos, and then I think it's fair to say that like up until this last week the results have been lesser for the especially for the tier twos. What a what has that been like for you and your team? Not having the same highs that you got in spring for the split.
I remember in the first tournament, Challenger Uprising, I remember after losing to Wildcard Red, we had a team meeting the next day before scrims, and excuse me, I straight up told the Griffin, and I think Tuesday was busy, so it was just Griffin. I just felt like, I think as a team, it's really important to be completely honest with one another, right? I feel like if you don't say what the issues are, you'll never improve as a team. So I just told like the team, like, playing with you three, Aloran was different, but playing with Griffin Tuesday, I just feel a lot more pressure. And usually when you guys make a call, I'll just be like, yes, yes, even though I have like a gut feeling that's a bad or, we shouldn't go first play because, they have TP advantage or someone else. And then Griffin just told me straight up, like, you know, we're here to win. So he definitely calmed my nerves a bit with just reassurances. And then throughout the split, I've been definitely working on my confidence because on Old Zeus, I was the main shot caller and I would make all the plays, tell the team what to do, how we want to do it. But on this one, on this version of Zeus, it's definitely Wiggly and Tuesday calling most of the shots here and there. If I'm like the carrier of the team, if I'm performing the best, I'll just be like, okay, I need this, that. We'll play for this, that. But definitely throughout the split, definitely feel a lot more pressure. So yeah, and then looking back at the old split, we made I think I don't know top 12 old Zeus. Could have definitely made it higher if we didn't into game three. I ran C9 Academy. Definitely a lot of regret, but looking to do well this split in the PG for sure,
and
and claim one of the spots for SG for ADCs for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, that's actually like a new introduction into kind of like back half of the circuit. But I do find it kind of interesting because now with you guys qualifying, when it comes to all the amateur teams, I believe that you are only one of two orgs. I say org, but one of two orgs that like repeated, right? Because Wildcard, I think, is the only other team that's actually back this year. Because of course, no org dropped. Digmig do have a chance to do that as well. They could be a third if they take down GGA. But what does that mean to like you being, one of the three players that stuck around, like being one of two orgs to repeat? Like, what was the process like for you guys kind of integrating Griffin Tuesday and figuring all that stuff out throughout the first three tournaments and then stepping up and putting together a massive series against CLG too, which means a lot to Tuesday and Griffin, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the emotions. You can feel it in the voice comms when we were winning or when the game was won. Just Wiggly Tuesday, we're definitely happy. But as a team, we were generally just happy, securing our spot. But yeah, I mean, for me, I think from the people I spoke to, the deficit amateur got a lot weaker. Concerning teams like Norg and Solfida were gone, right? T9 amateur stepped up their play. Wildcard Red already made it, and then their roster just became a lot better overall. With four new players, right? Right, Tapkins the only player on that roster that was
Yep.
the same from last bit. And yeah, I mean, when I first got the offer to join this Zoos Gaming team, I definitely took it, declined everything else. I'm like, okay, now I have to start working. I wasn't the best AD last week because I was just nervous, bad play overall. But it was a given for me at least when I joined this roster to make PG. I expected it, expected to be top 3 or top 2 at every tournament. But obviously, going to the second and third tier 2 tournaments that didn't happen due to gameplay issues, team issues,
A couple
and
close series as well. Like that series against
yeah,
AoE
I
was
think
like, yeah.
I mean we should have 2-0 that team series, but I'm not
I
gonna,
I watched the raffle for that game 3, and oh my god, that was a fun game, man. Like that, I mean, obviously, like went the wrong way for you guys, but that was a close game.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is also just like draft. Draft was some issue, but for the most part, I think our team has been getting a lot better. So I'm definitely happy and excited going into this proving ground and this last, I think, UGP was tournament. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for me, it's just mainly actually just not being nervous and just playing how I usually play. I think if I do that and play the best, like I genuinely think we can take Wildcard Red down. But before that, it's just baby steps, right? TSM Academy, and then the winner of Resolve and Big Academy. But just baby steps for the most part right now. Yeah.
So, kind of like backtracking, while we're kind of thinking about spring and heading into summer. You mentioned like early on in that point that you felt like you weren't the strongest AD yet. I know personally, I've been I was critical of your landing phase back in the spring, right? But that's something that, like, for me, and I'm sure that you feel as well, like, has visibly improved throughout this split and throughout kind of like your time. What are some of the things that like you feel like you've picked up on the most as someone who was very new and fresh to this scene, like in the spring of last year, and like kind of like taking those strides when you are competing against like very high level academy ADs?
Right. I think the biggest thing for me is, after spring, I know you definitely gave me a lot of criticism on Twitter. I usually watch every Proving Ground cast on the tier list. That Raheen has a really weak Lin phase, and I definitely agreed. I was pretty bad. I was really bad. But I think going to this split, the biggest changes for me was just playing the same matchups 100 times more. And
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, just reviewing. I've been watching. There's a YouTube channel I watch. It has like LPL and Korean VODs
Yep.
of challenge ADs.
Yep. The pro
So I've
views.
been just reviewing. Yeah, and I just been reviewing those, seeing how they play the matchup, what they do differently in team fights, how they do, what they build, etc. And on top of that, just our positional coach Draxler, he's been definitely like really hard on me, and he wants me to do really well. And most of it is because of him. We did a lot of 2v2 drills on how to play matchups,
Mm-hmm.
like how to play matchups, and then it just transferred, right? Like for example, if we have like extra space, we can just straight up flash on enemy bottom lane, get sums, and some of our scrims they show like the practice that we've been doing has been helping, and sometimes we do too much limit testing pocket and knife, so it ended up backfiring. But for the most part, I think my lane has got better. Is
It
it
has.
where I want it to be? But
Mm-hmm.
no, I want it to be better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely have a lot of improvements. Team fighting. I need to stop dying. I swear, like every scrim set I died like 8 times for no reason, just because I feel like I'm Thanos, but I'm not. I'm just an ADC, and then Diana just ults me and I'm dead, right? Like I don't know, like that champ is just I think even today, like my team said, like we need to stop dying. Like your danger sense as an AD is really bad, and I agree. And sometimes I don't know why, I just think of Thanos, so I'll go up and end up dying. So definitely something to work on, and I think it's really important, right? When you're trying to get an academy spot, like an AD who dies 6, 7 times, like who the hell wants him, right? The guy is dying 7 times, it's really bad. So yeah.
So, we've talked a bit about your time in spring, but I've actually gotten a chance to cast you even before this year for Proving Grounds. This was last fall. You were the winners of, I believe, the Focus Finals on that was the Akuma team, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
that
you
was
had like Zadox on that team who was in or who was in Unified. You had some fun teammates there. What was the transition from like winning that tournament and being on like other teams, the jump from that to getting onto like a Proving Grounds team, a very competitive team with people like Alorum and Rhino on it in spring.
yeah, that team. I remember. I think they had a different AD to start with, and then the AD had issues. IRL issues, blah blah. But I think all those players, I know personally, I've known them for years. I think when I first started in upstairs, like UCL, or whatever, like those are the people are around, and slowly they saw me from diamond player to a challenger player. So obviously, um, it was that. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just the players I play with now are just more passionate about the game. They're more casual. It's just like everything is more serious, right? Like that team, we would joke around and we would win just because we're just naturally better players, and that goes for everywhere. But that was more like we were all just friendly, playing for like fun, not serious. But when I joined Zeus Gaming, after the roster changes, I think it was a new Blaze, right? Left, and then she, the coach at the time, asked me if I wanted to play this tournament, and if I played it well, they would just straight up pick me up, and yeah, you could just feel it. It was just a lot more passionate. Draft is more serious. Gameplay, it's just in every aspect is just more competitive for sure.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me. The stakes are definitely really high. As I think Cubby
We're good.
just did something.
No, we're
Uh,
good. Producer Cubby just struck.
yeah, yeah,
We,
yeah.
we, we didn't lose any audio, but the camera just froze real quick. No worries. But it's interesting kind of hearing Raheen talk about like going through the process, right? And that's something that this year is like still new to you. Um,
Mhm.
how did that process shift for you guys, or like did anything change from last split to this split? Because I know that Incon was helping out last split. This split, it's Draxer. Obviously, you also have two new players on the team. How has that kind of changed up things for you and the squad, like process wise, like when it comes to practice and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just responsibility. Really, on old Zeus, it was just our coaches, Inkar and Pukar would find the scrims, and then me and RBN would usually just take over draft and VOD review, quote unquote. I say quote because all we did was just like, oh, we can't take this fight. That was our VOD review. Just we can't take this fight. Next game, let's go. Let's not do the same mistakes. But this game, I mean, on this team, is just you're held accountable for your mistakes, right? If you entered a fight like Griffin, Wiggly, Rhino, Alarm, like we don't care. We're gonna call you out. If you enter, you enter. And, we're gonna call you out to make sure you never make the same mistake twice. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And I think even on this team, when we're done in our first game or scrims or whatever, Draxler comes. He takes the first 10 minutes and just reviews and how we could have played everything better in the first 10 minutes. So we could have like maximized our goal lead or maximize punishments. What we can and we can't do, what we should have done, we should have done. Like, it's just more responsibility and more accountability for sure, right? These players are not playing for fun. Wiggly, Tuesday, Alarm, Pocket Night, like obviously all five of us want to get an academy spot as well as Draxter. like we all want to play in academy. We all love to do. We love playing league. So, we're serious about winning. So we just have to hold each other accountable when we enter, and then be responsible to showing up to practice. You can't if you one day if you don't feel like playing, you have to. You can't just like lay in your bed, or whatever. Don't wake up like 5 minutes before scrims. Because funny enough, that's what me and YBM did every scrim set for old Zeus. We would wake up like literally 5 minutes before scrims. Our first game every time would be so bad, just because half our team or our entire team would wake up like 5 minutes before scrim. So those are definitely the biggest changes that I see. Right, just responsibility, accountability, for sure.
It's really cool. So for you, oh well, I say it's really cool. The waking up at 5 minutes before also sounds pretty fun.
It was really. I remember like sometimes scrims would get delayed, and me and Ariel would just type like in our chat, like I could have been in sleep for like another 8 minutes or whatever, and then we all just come like no one would speak, and like the draft would just be like, "What are you bad?" Could just pick people, whatever.
Man.
We're all like half asleep, so you can imagine our practice was really, really bad.
That's pretty
But,
funny.
hey, and you still did. Yeah.
So, one thing that I do want to ask you, that I don't know if we got, but how did Zoos Gaming get created? Obviously, there was the snafu last split. How did you guys come up with the name, the logo? Like, what kind of led to that decision for you guys? Because it's become kind of iconic, right?
Right. So back when the incident happened with Trickster on Wildcard Red
Mm-hmm.
or Wildcard, where our jungler City Witty went to join a different team, and then Breezy also left to join Clown and Amateur. I remember that day. It was actually pretty hectic because I was working. I came home, and then it was me, Darkwings, Alorum, Shia, and Pukar, and then also our Gem Sky. So we're all in call, and then we were figuring out what happened because we had like 170 points after the first tournament, right? So we were guaranteed to at least
You guys
make
did
tier
really
one.
well. You guys beat Noah or Anu at the time. It was a big upset.
Yeah, that was a fun series for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember we kept landing all these supports. I'm just like, I don't want to put any of these supports. They all sound so terrible, blah blah. And then Argentum was explained to us, oh, like on the back like a few years back, RBM Darkwings were on a team and Pocket Rhino, and they were like the second team for Zenith or Azio at the time, and the main team was like Fire, Mike Young, or whatever, and how RBM Darkwings and Rhino was just smashing this team. And then it came. Actually, I was really close of just leaving the team as well. So I knew, or Zeus wouldn't happen, but anyways, we finally got paid in or RBM. He was saying how he didn't want to play for the team, blah, blah, blah. And I just told him, like, if this guy doesn't want to play, I'm not going to play. Like, there's no point, right? Like, what's the point of having a jungler who isn't going to play solo queue, who isn't going to do practice? Like, I'm not going to spend my time and waste it if this guy isn't doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we finally added Pocket Rhino and RBM. Oh, my God. The first couple of scrims in RBM was like 0-15, I swear to God. Every scrim. Just, like, running it down. Like, it was so bad. But, I realized, like, I could flame him, or I can also help. So when he was like 0-6, just like, guys, I entered. I'm like, don't worry, like, we can help you. What do you need? Blah, blah. And then he just like, bro, the game is still done. But so after we found out we can't use Anu as our team name, I think Alorum was like, I don't remember, but Alorum just like, we can be Zeus right after our Alorum's cat, Zeus. So we just picked Zeus, and then Pukar found someone to make us a logo, and we just became the toilet paper cats.
That's
That
pretty
was
funny.
Doc.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely a roller coaster.
The same guy who made your logo made our logo, actually. Like all this
That
stuff.
is true. Yeah.
He did a good job.
It's
cats.
definitely something that has, I think, served you guys pretty well. It's led to some fun things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like even my IRL friends, because a couple of them, my close friends know I play a decent amount of League, and then they were like betting on me, whatever, and like, why the hell's your logo a toilet paper cat that's paying? And I'm just like, don't ask me, man. I just play the game.
Why not?
And then,
yeah.
So definitely interesting for sure.
That's funny.
That's pretty hilarious. I'm glad. Obviously, the initial situation that caused all of that is just like the shittiest thing that has happened all year.
I think it was definitely crazy. I don't know if I don't even want to say because I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but like I definitely could have been homeless after Breezy and City Woody leaving for sure, right?
Yeah.
And when I mean homeless, I mean not actually no, just like teamless for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Gotcha. Yeah.
definitely glad they didn't. Everything worked out. Still, could have been a lot better, but I like seating wise, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before that you were playing on teams that were competing in like UCL and stuff like that. How long have you been in the like competitive League of Legends space where you're playing on a 5v5 team in like big tournaments or whatever tournaments really?
Um, I think before joining Akuma, I had one split in UCL where I think we finished second, and that's what was also pretty funny because you weren't supposed to be like if you're a challenger, you couldn't be playing it or like a LP cut off. I remember I had a Smurf in season 9 that was like 80% or 75% win rate challenger under a different IGN, and so it's kind of like cheating because I was like Smurfing in it. But and so was my support. It was beating at the time, so like we were kind of double cheating.
Ah,
But and turns out that the team that ended up winning the tournament had like 4 challenger Smurfs, so they were kind of cheating as well. So, but yeah, I think I played one split in UCL, and then I'm trying to figure out if I played any more. I think that was it. Before that, which around like season 9, and then the one split. Oh, I played one split in Focus as well before with a different team because I was gonna play into another UCL split, but then that was when my main got challenger, so I no longer could play. So I just left the team because I told them I would hold my LP off because I want to climb and get better at the game. And the other tournament we were playing in didn't have an LP threshold, so I don't know, maybe like 5 months before I joined Zeus, or I knew it as well. I was like playing amateur, but not really, but like more for fun tournaments, kind of like
yeah.
the lower leagues for sure. Yeah.
That's really cool. I have a slight history with like amateur like orgs around that tier, like diamond leagues and stuff, and I always found it really funny that like there were like so many players who were like cheating or whatever. They were like
Yeah,
actually
there's a lot.
challenger. And every single time that happened, I would just be sitting there like, good. I want those guys to be in like the league that I'm doing. I want to do like really good players and I want them to like improve and everything. And I always thought it was like really against the mindset that people should have when they're playing in a competitive setting and they're trying to improve and trying to become like a better 5v5 player that you are like gated by LP and stuff. So I think it's interesting that like you have history like cheating in like capped leagues and stuff. I
I
don't know
think
what's
it's
what's your
also
take
just
on that?
like obviously like it wasn't good what I did, but I did it. But also like if you are playing in these leagues and you want to get better, you should play in the league that you're allowed to play in, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's right, like you playing in a lower league doesn't get you better. If anything, gets you worse, right? If you surround
Yep.
yourself
Mm-hmm.
by worse players, you'll just naturally get better. Like if I played against in China, I'll probably get crushed the first 100 games just because they know things that I don't. Eventually, I'll start picking up on these things and getting better and better and better to the point where they won't. But if I play in like bronze low, I'm gonna pick up bronze habits, just not warding, disrespecting, playing bad recalls, whatever. Like it's true. I mean, there's times where if I can't win on my main account, I'll start smurfing just to relearn the basics and just okay, I've lost 7 games on my main. I'm depressed. Just go and play a smurf. Go crush 7 games. Get happy. Go back to my main. And hopefully, I can win 7 games in a row. But I think if you want to get better, you should just play in the better leagues. Surround yourself with better opponents, and eventually, you'll learn. So definitely
I
my take. I think if you're cheating, you're just doing it for the money,
yeah.
for sure, right?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly like the playing in better leagues and like against better opponents is definitely something like you've done this year too with, I mean, competing in proving grounds. I do know that you actually mentioned scouting grounds. You're one of the only guests that we've had that's actually brought that up so far. Um, for you, like what would it mean to you to make scouting grounds like, especially as a team? Because obviously, I mean, going as an individual is great, but I think everyone wants to make it as a team and have all your players go. Um, what's like that
Well, the
big
thing is,
motivation for you guys?
Well, I don't know if Monday and Tuesday can play because there's certain rules, right? If you have,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like if you have like 5 splits or something behind, you can't play. But I think even at Lorem, I don't think at Lorem can either. But even if you can, I mean, if
I don't know exactly what the rules are this year. I'm gonna assume that you're right, but still, like qualifying like as a team, like it would send you guys in.
yeah, just I mean, it'd feel good for sure. I mean, definitely funny, right? Like, there's no way we get in the same team, all 5 of us. It'd be too rigged,
Oh God, no,
actually.
no. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, making SG would be. I mean, before they announced SG was back, I think I was just like chilling around like 400 or 500 LP.
Mm-hmm.
And that week that it got announced, I just flew to 900 LP. I picked my champs and okay, only playing XYZ, and then I've been hard stuck 900 LP for the past like month, and I've been trying to break that 1K LP for the first time ever. But uh, right now, there's a lot of bad players. Right? Like when I mean bad, I mean like actual people that would grief you. I had like 4 lobbies one night where I had Nico jungle, my Nico one trick locked in Sona mid because our top player had like a dispute with him. Then the one game I was filled, so I'm like, holy, like I can't even play League this day. But and then they just added this new penalty. I think if you dodge 3 times, you get 11 hours or something like that. Like, what is
Yep.
that, man?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely means something. I mean, for me, SG would be really, really good because I feel like if I make SG, I can do a lot of work there and definitely get picked up. But at first, I need to get there. And solo queue and PG are the two only ways, right? 2 players from solo queue, 2 players from PG.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, both are looking iffy. But who knows? Solo queue is always just get a win streak, get a win streak. I think if I can maintain around like 1100 LP, I'll secure a spot in PG for sure. But at the moment, 200 LP away. So
Yeah.
It's a big climb.
have
So
to.
last year when you were playing in like other amateur leagues, was it your goal to come into 2021 and like try to get into like academy and LCS and that sort of thing, or like has that been a long-term goal of yours, or did that start because you joined Zoos this year?
So I remember, I think it was like 2 years ago, the first time TSM had a scouting ground like circuit online though. I made that, and by far not even close. Holy, I was though just I think I like the only AD there that had like 40 losses. It was me, Scooped, and Spawn, the 3 ADs. And
Yeah.
every game, I'll just solo lose my team. Every game, like literally, like second wave, game GG, well played, FF. Like that's how bad I was. And then Lost started like Lost said that he coached me one thing, and I said, hey, is it cool if I add you on Discord and then time to time we review games. So after that, me and him had like 15 private sessions, and that's when I hit Challenger. I had like 900 LP in the previous season, and then the next time I made it, I'm okay. Like I'm good enough. I'm not good enough, but I'm fairly high LP, top 108 twice, 2 years now. But maybe I can put more time into this and make it right. As well as during last split, I was working and still doing my school, my second year at the time. So I was still busy, and but I just spammed a decent amount of games. So, but yeah, I mean, I was been trying to go pro for sure. Last year, my intentions were just okay. I'm still really bad. Learn as much as possible, and this split, show that you're the best AD. Show to all the scouts that you are the best AD, and you deserve an academy shot. That was my intentions, and uh, yeah, I mean, last year I just used it to learn as much, make connections, get my name out there, get my brand out there. Raheen, whatever I am. But
Mm-hmm.
now, definitely just full like I have to perform. I have to make it right. This is what I want to do. School, even though I'm my third year, I'm gonna run my own stats later this year. Do I really want to become a lawyer? I mean, it is my plan B, but obviously I want do what my dream is, and that's play league professionally.
Yeah. That's no, that's cool to hear. And I mean, when it comes to that, I'd say that if your goal is to go move up to the next level, well, beating CLGA is a good start, and you have a chance to take down another academy team in UGP. So kind of getting back to that bracket. Obviously, qualifying for Proving Grounds is huge. We've touched upon that a little bit, but there's still a lot of the tournament left, and I'm kind of curious about what you think about what the tournament's been so far. Like, obviously, big storylines being that you and Resolve qualified. COGA's out. GGA has to win another best of 3. Is this something that surprised you? Is this something that like, do you have any thoughts of like what's been going on so far in the tournament? It's like maybe kind of caught you off guard, or you expected to happen, anything like that?
If I'm being 100% honest, I didn't expect CLG to make it Academy. I had a feeling that they're just. I mean, I didn't expect them to lose to Supernova, but I did expect them to not make it, and it showed. But I was just looking. I remember talking to a couple of Academy players, like Diamond, whatever, and you know, he would just tell me things about like certain teams. It's like, yeah, this team is straight up just not good or whatever, and I would watch the VODs and whatever. But definitely surprised that TSM Amateur didn't make it. Usually when we scrimmed them, they're a pretty strong team, and I'm good friends with their coach.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least I used to, right? I used to talk to him almost every day, and then I didn't make TSM Amateur, so lower. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised TSM Amateur didn't make it. Actually, to me, they were like one of the strongest teams, but it seems like on game days they weren't as consistent scrims, and that's that can be due to a variety of factors. Scrims are just there to learn. No team's really 100% trying to win because winning scrims don't mean anything. But I think if we beat TSM Academy and like a 2-0 and I play well, I think we just win it all. Straight up. I don't think Resolve and I mean Dig will be the hard. I think in the finals it'll either be Dig, us, and TSM. One of the 3 teams. I mean 2 of the
Dig
teams,
Academy.
Right? Yeah, Dig
Okay.
Academy.
Yeah,
Sure.
just to clarify. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's well.
I'm actually surprised Dig made it this far too as well.
I made a somewhat bold prediction that you guys would win it all or had a chance to. So
That's true.
Yeah.
we'll
think
see.
that chance is definitely up there. Definitely strong chance. I really think if we just 2-0 convince just if we do smash TSM Academy, I think we win it for sure. I know there's 2 finals, right? Winter finals and the actual finals or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a loser bracket.
Yeah,
bracket.
winners and grands. Yeah, because they're the loser bracket. Yeah.
I think for sure. I think on game days we're usually just more alive, and you can feel the energy difference compared to scrims, whatever that is.
Mhm.
But I think if we come in strong for sure, we can win this tournament for sure.
Sweet. I'm hoping to see it, man. I've been really impressed with you guys.
Is our match a best of 5 or best of 3?
The next one
I'll
is a
find it for
best
you.
of 3, and then after that it's best of 5s for you
Okay.
guys. I'm pretty sure.
I
We'll have
will.
Snacks confirm. I am curious though. So we talked about some of the expectations you had, like what you were surprised or not surprised about. We do still have 2 spots for Proving Grounds remaining. Those battles will be decided between Maryville and Supernova, something that I have self-coined as the Heart of Amateur versus the Kings of Collegiate. And then we have Dignitas Mirage against GGA. Do you have any expectation? You don't have to give predictions, but do you have like any thoughts? You can if you want to, of course. I'm not gonna
I think
sway
I
from
think GGA
it.
2-0s. I think GGA 2-0s Dig May.
Okay.
If they just drop their eagle and ban their one tricks, I think it's just pretty easy.
So no Kazakhs, no Darius.
Well, I would say more Syndra and Kazakhs. I think
Yeah,
Darius
Syndra's very good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the most comfort champ, and then when it comes to comfort, like, we're not an academy team. I think the biggest thing is just whatever you're comfortable with, right? If you one trick, like, I don't know, Rise ADC, you have a million games on it, you should just probably just drop your eagle and ban it, right? You don't play against it, whatever. I think Darius just depends. If you're on red side, you don't need to. You can just give your counter pick to top, and then, Dragon would be very sad. But, yeah, I mean, I
You
think...
can test Dragoon. Is that what you're recommending?
Okay. It's just our analysts just show our stats, and then we just said, okay, we're banning this champ and this champ, don't care. We'll have 1 ban extra on like red side or blue side, and I think it showed, right? Like we just pure stomped them. I guess EG also doesn't have academy players like Zoos Gaming does, but I think that the match Supernova versus MU, I think MU takes it 2-1 as well.
If MU play like they did against TSM, I think they looked really good in that series for me. Like they put out their team comps really well.
They did.
I had TSM going into that.
Me too. I thought TSM would 2-1 them, but
yeah.
The thing about Supernova, I'm not sure about is just with his sub out Strompus. I think that's really weird because to me, I think Strompus is their strongest player for sure. and it was really weird to me to see that Roblox was playing mid lane over Strumpets in the I think CLG series
Hmm.
game one. Maybe it was like a tactic to throw the CLG off, but I think just Spirax is MU's best player without a doubt, and he's been smurfing it and a
Yeah,
lot of teams haven't been giving him credit. I think
yeah,
Spirax is definitely a really good mid laner.
he's really good.
Um, Shady definitely just plays really well with Auto Orange from Legacy. Him and Auto Orange
Mm.
pair up really well. And then they either gank for Chippies or Spirax, and then when you die to that gank, the game becomes really hard because Spirax either gets a big lead or Chippies gets a big lead, or they just get a big natural team lead. And Azog does what the team needs. Either Ziggs or Ash clear the way from 30 miles out, give enemy team a hard time to do anything on the other side of the map. It's really hard to punish the Ziggs because you just run from like 4 monitors away. Like, what can you do? So I think MU and GJ are just my two teams that takes the last two spots for PG for sure.
That makes sense to me. I'm aligned with you there. I think that both those teams looked really good just yesterday. They were on my broadcast too, so that was pretty fun. We
I
got
think
to what's up?
good. I was gonna say, I think if MU and GJ win, that series will be really interesting to watch as well.
Mm,
GJ
yeah.
versus MU. See how those teams collide for sure.
A lot of
Well, yeah,
history
because
there.
it's
Yeah.
Niles playing against his old team. So
Exactly.
Not only
But I
that,
also
but
really
think
fun.
like there's a lot of interaction between those two. Like at least in past, seasons, there's been a lot of interaction between those two teams, given just a lot of history between the coaches and players. So yeah, that would be actually really cool. I didn't really think about that, but we good chance of seeing that next week.
mm-hmm.
I
Just
I
on
did
paper
find it
that
by the
matchup.
way. Monday is the last best of 3 day. So all those matches
Yes.
on Monday are best of 3, and everything else is best of 5. So I
Yeah,
found that out.
that's good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that I didn't know, but Cubby is all knowing, it seems. Just a
That's
genius.
super false, but I did call it for that one. Let's go.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I've already been. I mean, me being CLG again wasn't a surprise. Like I already knew in the series, as long as we don't really end like we did in game two, that series should be good. And then TSM will be harder, but also doable. We did a last split with old Zeus roster. Um, so why can't we do it again? Even though the series was really close, I think game three went like 45 minutes, whatever. I think we can do the same thing again. So we do have a good track record against academy teams for the most part. So that is that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys having already qualified for proving grounds, there is that tournament to think about. I believe it starts at the end of the month, but it definitely goes all throughout September. Um, have you been watching the top 6 for Academy so far?
As that, what teams played already?
There were the quarterfinals, so it was
C9EG was one of the
C9EG,
Oh,
series.
that
and then it
series.
was
I can't remember. I remember watching one of the games where Darshan like smurfed on Chen. That series.
yeah, that
That
Oh,
was
was
the
EG
game
last
lost.
one.
5.
EG,
Yep.
yeah, EG lost. I remember, right? C9
Yep.
reverse swept, and the other side was I don't remember the game. 100 Thieves versus was 100 Thieves?
It was Immortals.
Oh, and then I
It's
mean,
pretty clean for
who,
100 Thieves.
Yeah.
oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch too much of that series. I think I was scrimming, but I did catch the C9 Academy game. I remember watching. I'm like, wow, Darshan really smurfed game five. I think that
Yeah.
one pick on JoJo mid lane on LeBlanc was pretty massive, right? So,
Yeah, he found him bot lane under the turret with a taunt when he was trying to base, and
and then he
then
ulted on Shen ulted to Leona on Nash, and I
yeah,
think they killed the one or two people.
yeah,
Right?
that was huge. And then in the last fight, it was a very close game 5. Jojo Pion had like all the gold, and Isles like flashed on him when he dashed in, and they just CC'd him and one shot him.
No, I remember he didn't flash on him. He caught him with the Zenith Blade, and then the Zenith Blade followed him back to the LeBlanc W, and
Yes, that was it.
Leona things. You can't move for 40 years, so
Damn,
not,
Raheen's got
not
better
in that
memory
you
than
can.
me. I was on that series.
Yeah, no,
Well
I
done.
just remember that play. Yeah, I mean, Leona, the stuff that she does, you just can't forget. Doesn't die, can't move. What can't kills you? Champs an assassin tank. So it was definitely, yeah. I mean, that series was really good. Actually, I remember most part of it, and then yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the top academy teams are definitely a lot stronger than they were last year. I think the level of play just got better, and the the game is all different. So there's a lot of things you can do now that you couldn't or you didn't see as much as often. Like I remember I was watching 100 Thieves play, like they were just diving on every like 2 or 3 waves or whatever, and I'm just like, wow. You look compared to last split, no one was doing 3 to 4 man dives unless it's like a TP play with TF or something, right? So I think the game just got a lot more volatile for sure for the most part, and teams that make those plays usually get ahead, and even if they don't, like you look at LPL teams, like they make one play, if it goes bad, 3 minutes there, they're doing the same play again, and this time it works because they don't have a TP play or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think top 6 teams definitely look a lot scarier, but definitely think that if we continue on the growth we are, we can definitely give some banger series too. Is what I'm
Good to
looking for
hear.
as well. So
So
Yeah, the
with the top teams looking stronger, do you credit maybe Academy changing the regular season format? Or do you think that Proving Grounds had a big factor to play in that, and maybe some of you guys as well? Or do you think it's just summer buff? Like, do you think just adapting to the meta? Like, why do you feel that way with like the top teams?
well, I think a lot of it is amateur became a lot worse just because the better players already moved up, right? You got people like Danny, Team Luke, Honda, Viper, all made it to academy, and those are the pretty big names, right? Consistently always bringing up Viper on the 2v2. No amateur jungler top can ever achieve what they did, right? They were
Yeah.
like crushing everyone. And then you have Team Luke, who was like the heart of wild card, strong side every game, carry performances, and then Danny was just mechanical beast who just they just smurfed on everyone. I think also um, academy teams, had like a wake up call. Like the gap at the time wasn't that big. These are hungry amateur teams looking to prove themselves, and if you caught like if you didn't respect your opponent, like you could lose, and maybe that's what happened to TL versus what's that team? Barrage at the time, right? TL was like the favorites to win that alongside C9, and then TL just lost to Barrage in the 2-0, I think, or was it 2-1? I think it was 2-0.
There's 2-0.
So,
yeah, it was 2-0.
and then funny enough, I think we should have beat C9 too. So the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed and Academy last bit should have been the losers bracket, but I decided to grief and flash in and not get the free Baron, and then I have to live with that. So every time I talk to Peyton, he just says like, "Raheen, man, why the hell did you do this, that?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, don't talk about it." That night I couldn't go to sleep. A lot of regrets, but overall, I think it's just a mixture of Academy getting better players and taking, whatever they're doing better, like practice wise, whatever. And then Academy or Amateur is just worse players. Or like, no offense to people, just I think the biggest opponent is just like Arrow, right? When I played against Arrow, he just reminded me a lot of like, okay, wow, this guy's really good, consistent. He'll punish you if you do any mistakes, and uh, a lot of other amateur ADCs don't do what he does, and obviously, experience difference. But yeah, I think it's just a mixture of academy getting better and amateurs players. The good players went up, and then the players are now taking part or playing amateur is just not at that same level, right? You have people like Bradley, who I think Bradley has been smurfing for the most part. So yeah, I mean, top 6 teams definitely got a lot better, and then amateur just got worse for whatever reason it feels like, right? Competition level isn't there, players aren't there, so
Hmm. Yeah,
at least
it's
that's my opinion.
interesting. Yeah, I think it's interesting you say that. I think it's definitely a valid opinion, especially considering like the some of the best players in the role just moved out. You could make a case for all the players on No Org and a lot of the members in Solo Fide too, right? Because like Zazel's not in amateur anymore.
Yeah,
Five Fire's not here
fires,
anymore.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I think it's
value
definitely interesting.
big.
But yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like
Apollo's not there no more, so definitely the competition got a lot worse, but not as bad. Like you got teams like C9 Amateur now, right? They're doing really well.
Yeah.
mhm.
You got Breezy tweeting out that scrims are going well, so it looks like they're doing well. And then you got Wildcard Red, which is like pretty much a new org, and then Zeus Gaming, whatever we are.
You
So yeah,
guys are
I
pretty
think
sick. I've been really liking your games. The reason I asked about the top six academy is because if Proving Grounds format is exactly the same, then you guys will be playing against one of those teams in the first round, because that's just how the seeding will go if it's the same. So I was curious.
Who would I'm trying to TL. Was it TL or T 100 Thieves that ended first for Academy?
Um, for the seeding
We have,
depends on where you place in the playoffs.
yeah, we have to see.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we know that EG and IMT are 5-6. I
EG
think
being
EG is.
5 because
I
they,
think so.
you got to figure the tiebreaker would be regular season.
Probably.
So yeah, EG 5-6, and then we'd figure
there's
out.
Cloud9, 100 Thieves,
Is there a third, fourth place
TL.
match?
I don't think so. I
Okay,
don't think there is.
then TL was in first, or no, FlyQuest were first. TL was second, but playoffs decide the rest. And it was 100 Thieves first, third, C9 fourth, fifth, sixth
Yeah.
being EG and IMT, who are already out. We'll have to find out what happens with the FlyQuest C9 series, as that is being broadcasted as we are doing this podcast. And Smacks cannot share spoilers on air or on the podcast, but yeah, I'm curious. I think that, so last split we were pretty certain that Noorg was going to top 4, and the big question was, do 2 amateur teams end up top 6ing? Especially with before Solafide dropped. That was like kind of the big debate we had. So I'm kind of curious, like, with where you feel like you and the amateur teams are at the moment. Do you feel like there's something similar between, are you like pretty certain that Wildcard Red can top 4 and then 2 amateur teams can top 6 again?
To be honest, I think well, it depends, right? I'm not sure what's going on with FlyQuest on who's playing Academy, who's not playing Academy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if it's the Academy, the original Academy team playing in Academy with Diamond, Tomo, NXI, Triple, and Kumo, I think they're probably the favorites to win. I've been watching most of their Academy games, and they play really well as a team. 100 Thieves has like an aggression, Kenvi and Ryoma really well 2v2, and then you have tenacity on playing like champs like Aurelia. That makes me very scared. This guy's smurfing like 1v4 dive somehow. But yeah, even like the fifth and sixth IMT and EG teams that if we do have to play like that, that's no easy match, like right?
Mm-hmm.
Like EG doesn't to me it doesn't feel like they're a fifth place team. To me, EG feels like a top 3 team.
They top 4 last split. It's Tomio's to the contracts, but Tomio still is. I think
Right.
day one proved he's a top half Academy jungler already. For me,
Yeah, it was like EG maybe quote unquote like fifth place, but to me they just look like a top 3 team, right? Like Jojo and Tomio. Once again, I'm sure once they get Tomio to LA and all the issues are resolved with like paying teamwork, whatever. Like that's like no easy team to look against. And then same goes for IMT, right? You have Viper on the top jungle. I'm sure Lauren will be happy to play against those again. And then you have Pretty in the mid lane, and then Joey, and then Keith, right? Like a lot of these bottom lanes don't. I mean, these bottom tier teams, like I feel like on a good day, could beat any of the top. Like I feel like on a good day, FlyQuest can lose to IMT, and vice versa to like all of it, right? It just feels like it's anyone's game, but it'll definitely be a hard series for sure. Like looking to PG, like winning it this year for an amateur team is a lot harder, right? Like compared to last year, I'm like, okay, Norwich for sure, they'll do like top 3, top 4 finish. Like this team is smurfing, their top side smurfing every game, their bot side smurfing by not losing too much or bleeding too much, and they should, right? Like in the finals, against Cloud9 twice or whatever, like they played really good, and props to them for winning. And then this year just feels like academy teams are like, to me it just feels like academy teams gonna win. I can see Wildcard Red doing fairly well, but I feel like once they play against the 100 Thieves, TL, FlyQuest, like the games will be a lot harder for them. They won't be as easy.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get the wild card games in there. I'm thrilled to see like where they actually end up in all of that, because their first matchup is 100 Thieves next, which is
That's one matchup.
Yeah, pretty tough for 100, I think. But if they end up doing that, if they end up winning that, then I don't even know what's going to happen after that. So
I think.
If they win, go
Go.
ahead.
No, you
No,
go.
no, you go first. You go first.
You're the guest, man.
To me, it just I feel like if I feel like a lot of that will be draft. If you give 100 these likes, I feel like they'll just like if they get going as well with the picks they like or what they've been doing well,
Hmm.
it'll be a quick series or at least a quick game. Because 100 Thieves, once they get a lead, they don't stop. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Right? Kennedy plays like really aggressive out of his mind, and sometimes it backfires, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I mean that'll be an interesting series to watch, and I think depending on how that series goes, is what will people see with AM, right? Like if Wildcard Red seems like they do well and they beat 100 Thieves, then I think it won't be as scary. I mean, at least for me personally, like going into this PG, I'm just like, damn, all the counting teams are this much better. Amateur teams are just like not at that level. So it'll be interesting for sure. I
So
think
that
watching.
one is 100 next, not 100 Academy that Wildcard Red start off against.
Oh,
So yeah,
then
yeah.
even I mean, funny enough, I was watching how the next play versus Walker Red in the last tournament, I think, right in the semis match,
They put him all right.
and they should have won game one. The way they lost
yeah,
game one was like the Bradley backdoor. Game two, they won. So arguably, if they won game one,
Yeah,
momentum swing, it just shows that that team, like Wildcard Run, is like more. I mean, you can beat them. You just have to beat them. Yeah, I don't know. You just play better league, and then you can
yeah.
win. Like
I
that game.
I
That
think they're
game was one
beatable
for
in
them.
best of three. Like I think
I
anyone's
think
beatable in best of three for this tournament, honestly.
because I remember when we played them in the first tournament in Challenge Uprising, like game one, we were in a good spot, right? I was ahead on Varus. We 2v2 killed Arrow and Daption. Like the game was going really well, and then we
They
just
set
ended
up
on
some
one
good
play.
flanks on you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like so much. Like I think ICU is a lot closer than most people think, but
no, it was very close because that was
game,
the
game
game
one,
one would have been the Jay Sakali setup, for Bradley and Dokla, and they
yeah,
found you like push past mid, and they burned like a TP, and then Dragon they double TP'd behind you. And, like it was really good setups from them. Like that was really high level. Like that was a good series.
yeah. I mean,
Personally, I have Wildcard Red. Like I think they're a top 4 team in the tournament, and I'm actually kind of surprised. So FlyQuest right now they're rocking Philip, which will be for sure playing instead of Kumo.
oh yeah,
And then the bot lane they're rocking at the moment is the Johnson and Dreams one.
yep.
well,
But
it's just like,
my favorite is TL this time around because they got Jenkins Armeo back.
Yeah,
And
they're very
well,
good.
Doku's also still playing, right? He's just up.
nope. Well, I don't know if Dokwood's with them anymore.
He's still on
They
the team.
are. I think on Twitter they posted a picture of them,
Yeah,
their academy team playing, and Doku was there. It was Armada,
he's still
Dokla.
on the team.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
But I think they're playing split with him and Jenkins. But
Yeah.
still there.
I mean, yeah. From my experience, both those top laners have been. I know solo queue is a lot different, but both those guys have been smurfing pretty well in solo queue. Like every time I see Bobby Jenkins enemy team, I get very scared. His Camille, his Kennen, very scary, and then Dokla is just a Link Kingdom, right? Like his Jace, his Lucian.
Hmm.
They're definitely a team to watch out for. Well, all of the academy teams, right? I feel like.
Yeah.
But,
My TL, like we haven't seen them in the playoffs yet. I think we see them tomorrow.
Yep.
But they were really scary the last couple of weeks of Academy when they got
yeah.
Jenkins Armeo in. It was
Even
Then-
the main
yeah.
team, right? The LCS team with Santorin back, it just felt like everything clicked back. Alfari started linking them, but
Yeah.
it was definitely TL. I mean, I think once again, all the top 6 teams are just very scary. Maybe IMT not as much, but definitely 100 Thieves, TL, FlyQuest. Well, it depends on FlyQuest because I do talk to Diamond often, and he tells me a couple things, but their ball might switch around. So depending on Diamond or not Diamond, if Johnson and James want to play. So if they don't want to play in PG, they'll sub in Diamond and Tomo. So definitely it'd be interesting for sure.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wonder how that'll actually go. I mean,
I don't know
today.
if I was supposed to say that, but
No, it's. I
Well,
think
we'll figure it out.
It's. I think it's definitely like public knowledge that they could just sub in their other players if they want to, or if they decide that it'll work better. So I'm not sure because I mean Tomo and Tomo was initially on like the academy team from the get-go, so
Yeah.
I think it would make sense for him to be able to run it back. I don't know what their decision would be with like Dreams and Diamond though, because they've been swapping back and forth for a while. But
Right.
I don't know. It'll be interesting what they actually decide to do. So I'm curious, Raheen. You mentioned that in the spring you feel like you made like a lot of errors and you weren't feeling like a top of the table AD carry. What would it take for you to feel that way if you don't already right now about this split? And is there like a results thing that you'd want to do? Is there like a gameplay thing where you feel like you can take the next step and then be that like you feel like you are the best AD carry in like any tournament?
I think the biggest to me is just yeah having good performance, right? Uh, like Cubby always said, I don't want to get 2v2 killed unless it's really unlucky and you live like 1 HP or something along those lines, right? Like
You only get
I think the
2v2
biggest
killed if it means that top lane gets like 3 points, right?
Hmm.
no, not even that. It's just
You're
like
just a distraction.
uh, yeah. I mean, sometimes it happens, but I mean, the biggest
There are
thing for
good
me is
deaths in
just
league. Yeah.
yeah. No, there is definitely is. I think in the scrims we actually had a good death today. They ran and chased us, and then we got like 3 4 plates on the last map. But regardless, I think for me, like I want to place better than last split. So I think last split we got top 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
This split I want to get better than top 8, and on top of that, just have a solid performance. Right, I want to be able to just look good, perform well. Just I don't want to look like the 1v9 carrier of my team and whatever. I just want to look like this guy's a solid AE. He can play in the academy. He's showing that he can play against academy bottom lanes, and yeah, hopefully get that a spot on any academy team. So that's where I'm at for sure.
Cool. Well, I sincerely hope that you get to do that. I'm really rooting for you guys. I mean it was very like your series against CLG. I think even CLG fans were rooting for you there, just based on the
It was
the
actually
the
so
narrative with
funny.
Jean and Ray.
I think after game 1, like I don't know if this guy was trolling or not, but someone typed in chat like, "Why doesn't Shieldy just pick up enemy mid jungle?" And I just started laughing. And I took a screenshot, and I'm just like, I don't know if this guy's being for real
Send it to
or
Tuesday Griffin.
yeah, he's like, "Why
That's a
doesn't
pretty funny
Shieldy pick up
meme.
Tuesday Griffin?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just laughing. It's just that scene was definitely like fun or funny for me as well. Just the, there's so many things in my head. I was just like question marking. So fun series for sure, and then after. I mean, compared to last play I think when we beat New Norg and then we qualified a spot for PG.
Yeah.
When we beat Norg, I think it was like 11 in the night. I just remember just like all of us were just screaming, and I kept clapping so hard, my hand actually became like really red, and like it was really sensitive. And I think I woke up my mom. My mom was like, "What the hell's going on? Are you okay?" And then I tell my mom usually like my games and stuff, right? And she's just like, "I'll pray for you to win. I'll pray you do better, like good." And choosing when you're like, in my family at least, playing league isn't like seen as like a career, right? I have Middle Eastern parents, so they're just like, "Hey, go to school, get your degree, get your job, get married, have a family, and etc." Like this typical. So them seeing me playing more time league, and then I even told my mom like if I get an offer to go, I'm like dropping school. I'm just straight up going.
Yeah.
She's like, no, you're not. You're not leaving me. Blah blah blah. I'll tell your dad. And then I spoke to my dad. I'm just like, I showed you. If I get a contract, whatever the starting price is, 50, 60,000 USD. But you have to also remember, I don't pay for no bills. I don't pay for nothing, right? And then if I keep winning, I'll keep getting better, better, better. So I can make a future. And after I'm done, streaming is always an option. I think all my friends and family always ask, "Why don't you stream?" Blah blah. Like my PC is not good enough, and then even I work, right, so I have the money to buy a PC to
Mhm.
start streaming, but my parents just don't let me. They're just like, "No, it's a waste of money." So over the years, they've definitely got a lot better and less strict, but there's some things that my parents just won't let me at this time. So it is what it is, and it's what I have to work with. So hopefully, once my parents are more just like show them the proof that this is possible, and then they'll believe it. Like when I
Yeah.
told him that Faker gets paid millions of dollars to play, it's like, no, you know, you don't know what they're doing behind, blah blah. They're like torturing him, whatever. I'm just like, holy man. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm wishing you the best of luck, man. I'm really rooting for you guys when it comes to like proving grounds and everything. I think it's really cool that like we're already getting a proving grounds that has 7 academy team or 7 amateur teams in it. Like I thought after the first split that wouldn't happen this year, but it already has. So I think that's really sick, and it might be 8 even too, which is kind of insane. I think Golden Guardian's gonna win that, but
yeah. I think
Yeah. Did you see their last series?
I did, I did,
Oh, well, you had a front row seat for it, but
I
holy
did.
smokes, it was uh
who's
they were angry.
GGAs or
Yeah,
Yeah, Golden
they won
Guardians.
in like 24 minutes and then sub 20.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was pretty fast.
yeah,
It was against 16 seed, so
but
there's that.
OQ
But
didn't. I thought
OQ's
OQ
not
was
bad.
yeah they
OQ
put up
was
better
not bad
performances than
for sure.
that, but that
speaking of
game
yeah, speaking of airy randoms, that was I was surprised too. I know
Mhm.
usually Cubby you somewhat hype them up or along those lines, but I was surprised they got
yeah
outscored by what?
they had two
Oh no,
roster changes going into this tournament.
that, that game one, I think it was against MU in the first series, right? They that crazy game, whatever team. Next series was like 10 HP, whatever, like 500 HP, and then they won one fight mid lane, ended the game.
Yep.
That's crazy. But
Yeah, they I thought that AoE randoms were like kind of slept on, and
Mm.
Veteran was the one that like really liked Leo, just like because he plays out his lane states well, like given the map. Um, which on Leo's champs like Jace, he does pretty well. But
yeah,
at like they had two roster changes like last second with like Fizzy coming in and then Aetherius, and it was Aetherius is like brand new and he's going up against like Academy or Chippies, and then like yeah, it was tough for him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a tough tournament to be thrown into first.
yeah. I remember I was talking to our Peyton after, and I was just like looking at the VOD. I'm just like, there were so many question marks in the draft, and I think that's probably one of the reasons actually why they lost to MU. I don't think that I like props to them if they won the series, but I think every random if they had changed a couple of things in their draft, I think they would have won the last game for sure. But yeah, roster changes definitely change a lot, especially with the new support and top laner, right? I know from speaking with or playing with Fizz's past experience, he's pretty vocal, so
Hmm.
he can definitely change the team dynamic a decent amount. And yeah, I mean, I talk to Leo pretty often because he's a good friend of mine, and
Hmm.
besides Draxler, I think he's also just one of the safest, but also smartest laners. Um, so I'm not surprised that someone's definitely calling him for his good lanes because sometimes when we would review a game, I'd just be like, damn, like you're right, like you can't push this way because you don't know what like XYZ is or because you don't have flash. So he's definitely one of the smarter players I've played with for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Raheen, we've had you on here for about an hour now, and now that means it's time for the most important question of all. Um, how did you pick your summoner name, Raheen? I'm very curious.
I went by a lot of different IGNs, like a lot. I think if you rewind my IGN list, it's like 30 IGNs. So I think when I started this game, I was in grade six. Now I'm my third year of uni, and my first name was U Dead Sun, like the letter U and then space Dead Sun. It was like some really edgy stuff, blah blah. And then I remember like watching names like watching Faker. And I'm like, wow, his name is like so short, and just you can easily remember Faker. Like uh, Pawn at the time, right? The mid laner. You have Dade or whatever. All these men. I'm
Yep.
like, and then so I just thought I'm just like I'm not a creative person like at all. Like when it comes to being creative,
I'm not a
I'm really
creative
not it.
person.
No, I'm just like, hey, my first name is Sammy, right? I don't, and then Raheen. I was like, Raheen is like my last name. So I just saw if it was free and it was there, and I'm just like, I'll go by as Raheen from now on. So it's just my last name, and Alorm does give me a lot of shit for it. He's just like, what a boring name Alor thing is, and you know, it is what it is. But I couldn't think of a name that, like for example, like Young, like Young's name, I think is pretty cool. Just like Young,
Yeah.
easy to remember. And I tried thinking of something, but I just couldn't find my last name. And I name changed for like 3 days, and then someone took it on live server. So we made a fresh level 3 count, did bot games, and now I can't get my gen for like another year. So it was crazy to me. But
Raheen's getting trolled. IRL. All
Yeah.
right, so Raheen, before we let you go, Smack's got his last question. I've got one more. You reminded me with that one.
yep.
Alorum does a very funny thing after many of your games involving Twitter and Microsoft Paint and
Yeah.
bullying Raheen.
Yeah.
What is there a joke behind this? Like, how did this start? Like, what's your stance on this? It's just it's like Dad Alorum and young Raheen. He's definitely
So
putting you through the ringer a little bit.
I think this started um last like towards the spring where I would just like actually I don't even think I think it started this way where like I would just meme Lorem. So like for example, Griffin would just give him feedback. I'm like, oh, like Lorem, you can't like push this wave. I'm like, yeah, Lorem, you can't push this wave. Like you're just trolling. And then obviously when I had like my bad week or whatever, like I was inting or like like in scrimmage with limit test and die 2v2, he just he just make fun of me, and then me and Lauren would just go back and forth, just a lot of banter, and he ended up starting doing that. And I asked him like, why did you stop? And, it was like good content. So, you can't do it like every day or after every game. He's like, once we get a PG, I'll start doing it. And even games I did well, by the way. He just put me as like the lone wolf, like look
Yep.
whatever. And I'm just like, dude, what is this? And yeah, I mean, I think it's I don't know why, but even on my previous teams when I used to play on UCL and those focus teams, I would be the one getting bullied for some reason. I don't know why. Everyone just like teams up on me. And even recently, Griffin and Tuesday, Draxter, Allure, all of them just like group up together and just bully me. And I know it's for banter, it's for fun. We all laugh and giggle. I
Oh,
did something to them, right?
I feel that
Like
like being the heel. I fear that I feel that on a spiritual level when it comes to
yeah,
me and some of my friends that are outside of this world. Yeah,
I make
yeah,
fun of you for
like,
golf every day too.
that
So
too. Yeah, it kind of transitions.
yeah, like when when alarm just when alarm says something, I just laugh. Like I don't even get mad. Like I just start laughing and I just try to say something back, and then at the end, like our team will just start joining in, and then okay, like enough. Scrim started. Like we're in championship now. What are we bad? What do you want to play?
Hmm.
And that's how it starts, right? But yeah, definitely fun. And I know alarm. I remember one time like, why do you do this? He's like, it's okay. You get free clout, free clout. And yeah, I mean everyone laughs. It's fun. So
No, it's
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 I don't
true.
take it too
hilarious.
hard.
It's
Yeah. I don't
very
take it too
funny.
hard.
Yeah, it's
I,
very funny.
I think the most important part is like even a lawyer messaging me. He's like, "Hey, if this is too much, just let me know." I'm just like, "Bro, I'm okay with this."
That's good. That's funny
That's
to
You
hear.
very
know,
good.
I have
Yeah.
thick skin. You can't just get under me with that easily. And then, yeah, we just me like it's just a good time. Sometimes like that one time with I had an interview with Rafa. Like we had like a really bad week. Really bad week of scrims. Like as bad as you possibly could think of. Like we
Hmm.
were losing to teams that we should not.
Yeah.
Like should not. Period. And then the morale was definitely really bad. Like it's just we would join, all everyone would be quiet, no memeing, no nothing, and then we played in that tournament, and I think Wiggly, big props to him. He just straight up set up like, no, I don't care about winning. I want to work on this, and this, and then that's when our roller coaster started going back up, and then we all start performing well, and then we did what we had to do and start playing more as a team, and just relearn the game, and yeah, like we're back at joking and laughing at each other, calling each other out for mistakes, and when it's serious time, we're serious. When it's not, we're not. Like even in games today, like something happened to Lorem. He died. Everyone got out 1 HP by Lorem. We just all started laughing, right? Lorem was just like, why me? But yeah,
That's funny.
That's awesome.
it's been yeah, quite the roller coaster this year as well. So looking forward to it. Also,
Yeah.
I really want to smash IOE. I really want to smash Pitted and Darkwing because I don't know why. Just me losing to them. Just, no BM. I just want to smash them so hard into the ground. So I told don't even Pukar. I told him if we meet in PG, like you're going to get crushed. And we just meet each other, and he keeps saying the 4-1, 4-1. I mean, he holding down to that 4-1 for life, man. But there's a lot of teams I just want to just crush and just put into the ground. First, you just have to
Oh,
get
yeah.
better as a player and then as a team. So
Yeah,
that is that.
looking forward to it, man. Thank you so much for being on the show as well. We're about that time. It's been a really fun one as my
I actually have a question. I remembered.
a
Okay.
question.
It's just the
Whoa.
tier list for players. Are you guys making another one? What's the shenanigans with that?
After
Yeah,
UGP,
so
we'll have one more
I
with
think
Tim.
the plan is that when UGP is over, we'll
Oh,
put out another one.
Yeah.
and will that list just conclude only players that played in it? I'm guessing it is, right?
It's
It's
the same ramifications for the list, and
yeah.
so we're gonna do one like after UGP, before Proving Grounds, and then probably one after Proving Grounds. Just a hunch.
Probably.
Okay.
So we're doing it like tournament to tournament, but yeah.
It's gonna be Smacks, you, Cubby, and then Rafa and Tim, or
Yep, we're the fourth that kind of create or manicure it, I should say. So yeah.
It'll
just
be a good
curious.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could tell why you're asking. I understand.
Why? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Just when I didn't see myself like I think I was in the top 10 at the beginning of the split, and I did it. Like when I don't see myself on one of those lists, I don't know. I just get really frustrated with myself. I'm just like, you know what? These casters, I need to prove them wrong. I need to go like one rank godlike mode, make sure I'm up there, and yeah, just I was curious, you know.
I look
Yeah.
forward when
Please do prove us wrong.
Yeah, I look forward to when players prove me wrong. I'm
Yeah.
always for that. So yeah, but
There's a lot of times that I'm just like looking at this list, and I'm just like, in what world is this player on this list and I'm not? I'm just like, why? What did this player do that I'm not on this list? I'm just so confused because when I talk to other amateur players, right, they just like this player just like is so bad at the game. I'm like, dude, like what? Like what is this, man? Like I am this bad that I'm not on the top 10 list, but to be honest, I was pretty bad, so I don't even blame you guys.
Well, we'll see about this next list.
plenty
We'll see if
plenty
we
of time
can,
to turn it around.
Yeah. One thing that would help is if you followed me back on Twitter. I'm
Wow.
just
All right.
kidding.
Well, Smax's
I'm
list.
completely joking.
Smax's list is
Oh.
just everything's just been revoked about it.
I'm completely joking. Oh my god.
I like
But
that
anyway, Reed, thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to plug or shout out as we close out the show?
Oh, and just thank you for having me, and definitely an interesting talk for sure on seeing what you guys think, what I think, and what's been going on with me for sure. My life has been crazy for sure. I haven't been getting much sleep because my sister recently got engaged as well. So
Nice.
I've been all over the place, helping my mom, family coming over almost every day. You know, sleeping at late hours just because my sleep schedule is on DGen hours. So I sleep at like 5 in the morning, wake up at 10. I look like a zombie. So now that everything's going down, going back to normal, I can finally live my life and do what I love doing most, and that's playing League.
Sweet. Well, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk
Yeah,
with
man,
us.
this is
Man.
fun.
It's been a
I
pleasure.
enjoy this. Thanks for coming on for sure.
No, thank you for having me for sure.
Yeah, it's mutually beneficial, I suppose. We're just really happy to talk to you and any people that we get on. So it's always a fun time. But yeah, you can, if you're listening right now, you can follow Raheen on Twitter. His Twitter's on the screen for Raheen LOL. His team Zoos will be playing in Unified Grand Prix on Monday again against TSM Academy. It's going to be a great match to watch, so definitely tune into that one. And if you want to follow us on Proving Grounds Pod, you can find us on Twitter at PGroundsPod. We've also got all of our audio platforms. We've got Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can check us out on all of that. We'll be back on Sunday for another episode of Raising an A, and next week, Thursday, for another Proving Grounds Pod episode. So we'll see you all then. Have a great night.